Hey everybody, it's I, BigAl once again, and it is March, and since March is the third month, and Shudokan is just around the corner, I figured I'd hype up my Shudokan experience by paying attention to a couple of Lupin the Third related items. Items that people haven't been reviewing much, so without further ado, let's have some fun. Now, if you're a fan of Lupin the Third or just a fan of animation in general, chances are you've heard of this lovely gem. Castle of Cagliostro. Not only is it Hayao Miyazaki's first animated film, it's also one of the most critically acclaimed animated films. But, did you know it had a sequel?
That's right, Castle of Cagliostro, a movie that even Steven Spielberg claims to be one of the greatest adventure movies ever made, got a sequel. But not in a way you might imagine. Enter Lupin the Third, Pandora's Inheritance. Developed by Namco in 1987 and released for the Nintendo Famicom.
Now, story-wise, this game takes place shortly after the end of Castle of Cagliostro. And source material aside, it's just your basic damsel in distress plot. Clarice de Cagliostro gets kidnapped again, and it's up to Lupin and his friends to save her.
It's also your basic action platformer. A button to jump, a button to shoot. It's not rocket science.
And as you might expect, you have three characters to choose from. Lupin, Jigen, and Goemon. Let's go over the specifics.
Lupin's weapon of choice is his trusty P-38 pistol. It has a medium range, but he can also use gadgets. Jigen's Magnum has a much larger range, but he is more susceptible to damage due to him not being able to use gadgets. He can shoot while jumping, though. And finally, Goemon's Katana has the shortest range. However, it's also the most powerful weapon in the game, capable of destroying things that the guns couldn't.
Now, like many games during this time, one hit kills you. That's right, one hit and you're done. No ifs, ands, or buts, unless you're Lupin. Which, if that's the case, you can use life-saving items such as bulletproof vests to prevent you from dying with a single hit, or balloons if you happen to fall into a pit. Wow, that just rhymed. But yes, the difficulty curve is a little bit steep, and there's only 4 levels. One-hit deaths, slightly difficult game, only 4 levels. Well, you know what they say.
I mean, I guess they decided because the game's only 4 levels long, it better be the hardest 4 levels ever.
Now, just what are the levels exactly? Well, let's take a look.
The first level is Cagliostro. Scale the rooftops and make your way to the first floor to fight the boss. Spam the fuck out of him with Jigen's bullets and you should win no problem. Make the boss your bitch and he'll tell you that the princess has been taken into another Chinatown. Chinatown has 12 entrances. In order to fight the boss, you must talk to 4 specific people. One in entrance 8, one in entrance 7, one in entrance 9, and one in entrance 13. Speak to these 4 people in the order that I said, and you should be able to fight the boss. Goemon is your best bet here because he can completely destroy the guy without getting hit by his projectiles. Defeat him and he'll send you to the docks. The docks are pretty straightforward. Just mow your way past enemies and make it to the warehouse. Once inside the warehouse, fight your way past all 4 floors and fight the boss, who should look pretty familiar to Studio Ghibli fans. The final level is the Pyramids, which is split up into 2 sections, a driving stage and an action stage. Driving stage is pretty straightforward, just avoid obstacles. The action stage is a huge maze. Make your way past the maze and fight the final boss of the game, 2 guardians of the Pyramid's treasure. After you beat the boss, you find out that Fujiko was behind Clarice's kidnapping this entire time. She kidnapped Clarice to bait you into opening the treasure for her. What a bitch. And I guess Clarice must have got off to the entire experience because she's pretty happy about it. In fact, she even says in the translation that she had fun the entire time. What the fuck?
Overall, one-hit deaths aside, it's a pretty fun action platformer. I mean, even the music's decent. Take a listen. are curious of playing this game yourself, I'll include a translated ROM in the description down below. Well, folks, that's it for this episode of BigAl Reviews, the Lupin the Third special. Join me next time when we take a look at the Super Nintendo game, Hunt for the Treasure of Legend. Stay tuned.